de estúdio. Gosto.
Yes, that's right. Things are the way they should. Kyle is uncertain, and Winter is here being honest. So that's the way we should have it, right?
Well, thank you, Toby. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry. I'm no LD.
Contract.
Don't worry, you're Toby. I still love Toby. LD is not here, so say no to LD now.
Sorry, taken. Let's get into our game. We're having ourselves a nice little chuckle over the last potential pickup. We were actually throwing out the Lifestealer as a potential option earlier on, before the Arc Warden pickup came, and you thought maybe Broodmother would just walk over this. But we have the Lifestealer, so let's look at Crazy just by themselves with their draft. How do you like that so far?
I mean, I like your draft overall. The plans, what they have in mind. Lifestealer is going to be the playmaker. He's going to move around. Medusa's going to be farming. We had this funny discussion. You were asking, where is this Medusa going to go? I'm telling you, doesn't matter where he goes, mid lane or safe lane, he's one position.
You're number one with me.
So Lifestealer will be a perfect combination with the starter to roam around and make space. But for Gambit, I was quite surprised with the last pick, the Arc Warden, because I can understand that Arc Warden is a very good hero against Dusa, but Arc Warden, I feel like, doesn't really synergize well with their lineup. Doesn't really work very well with the Darkseer.
Does Arc Warden feel more like the Miracle style pick? You know, I just have this hero that 50 minutes in, I will win this game for us. Move away from that.
In general, so that it's easy for your team to run around.
Yeah. Still a great matchup against him. Excess Vampire. He's starting off with his Battery Assault. Lifestealer did go for the Feast to begin with, but you'll have to break free of all these stuns. Now Skinner's in a lot of trouble. Brought down by FNG. Moon and AUI were nearby, but FNG will get the bounty rune. Looks like AUI and Moon. Okay, FNG's going to go to the tower and play it safe. But this now means the double Iron Shell creep skip from Shashlo and Excess Vampire. And Lifestealer's actually TPing over to this point. I don't know exactly what he's going to do against.
Cancel a Clarity. I think that wasn't too bad because the Darkseer used a lot of mana to do this. But at the end of the day, I could see what they're trying to do, Team Crazy, because they expected the Darkseer plus 2 supports to come top to contest the rune, and they wanted to make the Darkseer use his mana so that he doesn't have as much mana to go behind and do what he's doing right now, creep skipping. He's gonna have to. He still has 2 Mangles.
Yeah, he's gonna burn both of them and then leave the Iron Shell on the wave. Is it TP time?
No, at this point you're willing to die for the experience. I don't think dying matters so much for him. But
unless Excess Vampire is trying to find the kill as well, but okay, he'll zone out AUI.
Yeah, but then you kind of want to, you know, be more conservative in how you're using your mana. If you go for the kill and you have to use a lot of your health and mana and you don't get the creep wave, it might actually be bad for you, depending on how you get the kill. So I would say that the creep wave is the most important thing right now for the Darkseer. The kills are not so important.
Oh, this just feels so random with the way this lane is going. So you've got...
that's just Dota, you know, like...
But you've got a battle underneath the tier 2 tower for the Dire Wave. Lifestealer has managed to pull the Radiant Creep Wave to the Dire lane pull.
Yeah, this is actually very important, Toby, like having this sentry to block off the camp so that the Lifestealer couldn't pull the wave here. So this is actually really, really important for the Darkseer.
Yeah, just try to mess with that northern lane with the side pull.
Yeah, so that the Lifestealer doesn't... Like, he gets to do this small pull, but he doesn't get as much in return. And looking at the bottom lane, so it's normal stuff, like we see this Lich Ricky lane, I think earlier today, and it was a very, very potent lane.
Well, they're going again. Quick jump forward, but Moon's already back out to safety. And, still got hit hard enough, he'll have to burn both the salve as well as his Clarity.
This lane is still pretty good for the STARLADDER. The wave is near his tower. It will be quite deciding for the Riki if he gets the pull here from the Lich. Yep, he gets the pull and he's going to be able to deny this whole wave of creep. This is actually a very big deal for him.
Also for Dream, now grabbing that DD rune in mid. Bryle has not had the greatest CS time. He's 3 for 5 versus the 8-6 of Dream. So
it's like a boring lane. Everybody's gonna farm. Yeah, there's no kill potential until the Outwarden has level 6.
Hey, I'll say this to you at the very start. When did I not say this to you at the very start? The first 5 to 10 minutes, it's just like, well, no one should die during this moment. But once we hit 10-minute mark, maybe things get a little faster.
That's the caster curse. No one should die. Then moments later,
you know, as long as you don't say the phrase that I most detest, there's nothing going on right now. Like if any caster ever hears that, I just want to like grab a glove and slap him in the face. But there's always something happening in a game of Dota.
Yeah,
like X's Vampire. Hey, Shashlo, welcome back to more levels.
That's what I like about the change with the outpost. You know, it actually makes the game more interesting. There's a lot of stuff happening. And for viewers, they are like happy with stuff happening. They don't like farming a lot.
No, like even right now, like Darkseer can just pull this wave up. Actually, you can contest the outpost. You got 2 supports up here that could be contesting that dire outpost. There's something to go for. Obviously, there's not that much benefit apart from a TP spot.
The issue is if they do that on the other support, then the STARLADDER will be left alone, and he will have a terrible time against the Lich Riki. So that's like a trade-off if you do that. And STARLADDER's not the kind of offlaner where you leave him alone and you feel very good about it. You don't actually feel good because
I was actually meaning Gambit. Like Gambit can actually take the dire, dire outpost up on the top.
They can do that, but right now it's still very early.
Bryle is having the crap beaten out of him in mid. 19-10 now to the 10-6, but Dream just keeps bubbling and standing his ground against Bryle, and Bryle could do absolutely no damage against him in return.
So this matchup is actually very skewed for the Outwarden. I thought it was actually going to be like a farm fest, you know. Maybe the DD rune changed the lane somewhat. I think it was the 2-minute rune that he got a DD.
Shashlo's denying himself. He's gonna...
Yeah, that doesn't matter. He needs to regen.
Yeah, but he saw AUI running for him, so that's why he surged himself in deeper inside the base to get away.
Did he manage to get the experience for the Darkseer dying?
I don't believe so. I think he was too far.
Yeah, but either way, it was the right move to do for Darkseer. So he's almost level 5. He's going to come back, contest the bounty rune. So everything is perfect for him. That's great play. Probably going to bring some items for the clockwork, the ward.
Bryle really needs some help.
Yeah, and Aoi TP'd mid, so he's moving bot for the rune.
Well, managed to find the invis already. Open wounds out, battle for the 5 minutes.
So 2 runes apiece? No, actually 3 runes for Crazy. They were able to snatch 1 rune away. And he's gonna move towards the bottom lane to try to set up a kill here with the STARLADDER and Rubik.
Well, there's no sentry wards down just yet. FNG just planted one now, but it's outside the lane. This is a difficult thing to do because FNG's far enough away. The GPK can just blink strike away if he needs to. So he needs to get into the tricks.
Oh, he's fine.
Yep, there's tricks. And away.
Like, the laning phase of Riki has been so strong right now since the change. Like, so difficult for them to kill him. Even with, they have 3 stuns.
God. That kill on the Deucer in the mid lane. That's
the level 6 Arc Warden?
That is it is the level 6 Arc Warden, but I don't think he actually used his clone for that. It was just Clockwork rotating in. Hit cogs, hit battery assault.
Yeah, this is actually something that you see quite often. The first catapult, the supports will move towards middle to gank, because that's the first catapult that will reach, that will start hitting the tier 1 towers. So it's either you go there to defend your tower, or you go there to attack the enemy's tower. So in a lot of cases, it's quite mandatory for the supports to move towards middle during the first catapult timing.
And your clones are up now. Dream using the bubbles absolutely perfect. He's just burning through Bryle's mana, getting this damage in, but he'll lose his...
They both have observers, so they both see each other. So the Medusa is right now, he's happy that he killed the catapult, so he's going back.
Jump forward, AUI. Oh, perfect dodge with the tricks. Dodging that STARLADDER crush. Moving into Willow Ryan, he's going to burn the 6 charges, so he had enough for the bolt to fly forward. Darshlo also lost his core in the middle of all of this. It's just going to be a lit to go down for the three-man rotation of Crazy.
It's just going to be the Lich. For Gambit right now, it's all about where the clockwork is going. Where is he playing? I think he's going to look for the Dusa. He wants to hunt him and maybe at least steal some XP from the Dusa doing some jungling. It'll be nice if you can actually get like some wards down here.
It's rather difficult though. Like Darshlo is also inside the northern jungle, just taking up those camps. So what do? If you're Gambit, you add pressure to the tier 1 tower. If Dusa is hiding, you find a target to attack, and Moon Meander is that target. Down on the bottom rune, he's just trying to be pushed away. The cookie jump, able to give him that space. AUI even going to lend the blast just to get the extra slow, but Exodus Vampire's got the movement speed. Battery Assault will wear off.
Oh, clockwork.
He actually needs 2 more attacks to get this kill. That's only 1.
He is 388 move speed to 361, so he's gonna get it eventually.
It's like, okay, 8 HP, run Moon, juke it, fog of war, something, trees. Outplayed.
Yeah, but back to what you are saying about pushing the tower. I think this is something that sometimes players don't think about so much when you're against like a hero that can jungle quickly, and they tend to try to hunt you in the jungle. But sometimes it's actually better that you can actually pressure and kill the tower rather than spending the resource and heroes to move into the jungle and hunt him, you know. So getting the tower is equally as good because you remove the tower so he has less areas to jungle. Even though he's jungling at that point when you're pushing the tower, but over time, if you get the tower, he will be able to get less jungle farm later into the game.
Yeah.
That's why you see
restrict his resource area.
Yeah, that's why you see sometimes counters being picked against like heroes like Alchemist. Magnus is like Pugna because he takes your tower, and you are a hero that wants to jungle, kill stacks, and you don't mind your towers going down.
I think it's battle time again.
Oh, here
Darkseer going to search the clockwork forward with Battery Assault. Just needs to lock up AUI, actually pushing back. AUI in range of FNG, but Brile and Kezu both TP forward. Nexus Vampire.
Wow,
being dragged in by Moon Meander. The tier 2 tower loses his life and the pressure. There are raids absolutely everywhere. And GPK, he's ready to jump in through the rear, looking for his own target. Moon Meander, first target, number 1. And then Kezu trapped here inside the troops of trade. At least he can get the crouch on. And GPK has to just blink strike himself away to safety as life's still high inside the STARLADDER.
Maybe you can see that what Dire is intending to do. Everything they're doing right now is to make the game of Medusa better. Like whenever she gets jumped on, there's a lot of TPs coming in. Even bringing the STARLADDER and the Lifestealer, both the cause towards the mid lane too. I think this is a very important move. They have to defend this tower.
I love this actually. Because they take the outpost, now Lifestealer comes over to try and contest it. They're just trying to stop him from getting the 10-minute mark. They don't control a single outpost here, Crazy. And Exodus Vampire, yeah, he's in a little deep, but Darshlo's here to help out too. Back to create some space, while FNG looks to grab the other runes.
That's a really, really big blow towards the supports on the Dire side. The experience is very, very crucial for them. But at the same time, they still did get 2 bounty runes on the bottom side, so not all is lost for Crazy. Medusa is happy, still farming the jungle, clearing some stacks, and the game plan right now for Crazy is very, very simple. They have to try to defend their towers as long as possible, cut creep waves, drag the creep waves away, and just buy time for the Medusa to come online.
Dream just keeps adding so much pressure to this mid lane. AUI, can be careful of those spark rays. They look like mini Vipers though.
This pick has been working so much better than I expected. All it has to do with the laning phase going so well. I did not expect the Dusa to get pressured by the Armoner so much in the laning phase. But sure there was that one gank by Clockwork, but even before the gank, Dusa was already losing the lane quite badly.
Mass TP's coming to bottom lane. No screen up, but they just go after Kezu, able to get the double stun, but then the cogs. Perfect trap him. Kezu's going to actually burn so much life, and Skidder, oh, he'll rage up as well, looking for his own attack. He'll only be able to get one. Lifestealer just walks away inside the Hellbear Smasher. You are right, Duke's getting a lot of farm right now.
That was rather strange because I think they did it a little too quick. The 2 supports on the Rubik was like still around this area. The Snap was walking down, so they needed maybe another 20 seconds to get down to the bottom lane. So if they could have actually had 4 people here, I think they might have been able to take the fight. But they were a little bit too eager to touch the tower right there.
I think they want to go again on bottom.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right play. That's the right play. They have to try to drag the Radiant team to this area so that the Dusa gets all the farm on the other side, so she feels safe farming.
Well, they smoke far enough away from the Dire Observer ward, but the rotation's coming towards.
Yeah, they see her. There's a ward there on the around the Ancients area.
And I'll see Snapfire as well. And that's a level 6 Mortimer Kith. Doesn't...
Your favorite Dota 2 spell?
It was great because it gave me a lot of MMR recently, but once it got nerfed.
Okay, I know what you're abusing right now.
And well, when you're in the trench with me, that's what you're going to abuse. Bottom lane, it's right now it's only a clone that will die, and well, just like the Emperor, send the clones to die.
Oh, I didn't know you were a Star Wars fan.
No, whatever. No, I kept it really secret on the DL. Yeah, XS Vampire's just itching to use this hook, but they keep running underneath the Dire Observer ward.
You can see like what...
Oh, used it, got him. CR4ZY trapped in here with a trick of the trade. Here comes Mortimer's. Kisses. That's a big sloppy one. Ricky doesn't want it. He'll blink himself away. He manages to dodge that last little attack. XS Vampire will have to lose his life for it. But GPK, is there another way to jump forward? Yeah, there is. There's cookies.
Good dodge. Good dodge.
And he knows he has to move over to FNG, but if Skidder does, he comes in range of both Dream and Shashlo.
Yeah, but that's what CR4ZY wants. They want the attention of the Dusa, you know.
Let Brawl let Brawl be one, right?
Forever the one and only Dusa.
That was a good song. What was that, Breakfast Club? I am the one.
So the plan is pretty simple right now. As you can see what has the Dire team doing for the last 13 minutes. Dusa is just the king or the queen. Everyone is just doing everything for the queen to get farm, get items, so the queen will carry the game. Throwing bodies, throwing heroes, dewarding. And the Radiant team is going to try to close down the map as much as they can, try to control Roche. Is anyone getting... They probably need a medallion. They don't have the best Roche lineup. But talking about Roshan, I think one of the things that you want to try to focus on when you're Radiant is try to abuse the Roshan, because the Dire team tends to have a natural inherent advantage of farming the two Ancients on the bottom side of the map, because that's how you naturally move as Dire. And they scan
smoke. They get gonna smoke it up. We'll try and hide inside the trick. They drop a sentry ward as well. A little early on the stuff from CR4ZY, but he had the bash ready to go.
No way, not this time. Okay, not this time.
There's a lot of support arriving. Are they still ready to fight here, Gambit? Look for a good target.
Bounty runes.
Yeah, Dream is here, ready to fight. He's got a fresh Maelstrom, hook shot forward, able to get that control over on the Slardder, heads across the Valve, never able to get it off, but Skidder, man, he went in real deep inside the ball. AUI popping off the kisses from downtown. The Dream, now he'll move over the Chain Frost and able to continue the bounce, smooth meander, hiding the Life Stealer, but man, that cookie gets a double stun on Dream as well as FMG. The FMG able to walk away, and Dream, well, he will actually go down, but not before he gets himself a double kill, and CR4ZY have 4 people down.
One Dusa against the whole world. At least she got 1 kill. That was actually a pretty big kill. That was like...
Let's getting the money.
Really? Lich got the money?
He's coming for all the bounties. Oh. And Darkseer got both the bounties up on top.
Brow got the kill bounty on the Arc Warden, so that was 400 gold for him. That was a... I think it was a... Still quite a reasonable bounty for him, even though they have 5 heroes and losing 4. I still think it's reasonable for Team CR4ZY.
We get to watch that initiation once again. Skidder really found himself in like harm's way.
And here comes the Dusa. She just TP'd in, drops a Mystic Snake, but still couldn't help his team turn the fight around. But he got a big kill on the Arc Warden here.
Oh, we're back to live. Shashlo trying to do his stuff on 40 HP, or 49 HP. He's able to get both mech and 1 charges off. The Surge. Even shields, Skidder says maybe this is not worth it. They have a creep wave to farm and a ward to deward. We start getting our next wave of items up and running, so...
Fusil done on Ricky. Outwater has Dragon Lance done soon. I don't feel like this is like the particular strong timing they want to hit. They need a lot more items on the Arc Warden. Because the purpose of picking the Arc Warden is to make sure that they outscale the Dusa in late game. So this is going to be most likely a very long and drawn out game.
Yay!
Wow. Toby's favorite kind of games.
What's going to be longer? The pause or the game?
Probably the game at this rate.
I like how you could just use Spark Race to just scat everything. So ARC-Warden trying to create more Spark Race. Nice Instigate. Pulling CR4ZY over the hook shot. Actually catching Excess Vampire. Trying to fight inside the bubbles as more to his kisses. Oh, the Cogs actually pushing GPK up. He has to jump himself away, but my god, Lifestealer, you were so far away from the rest of your team. Now Bryle, on almost no mana, being hunted down. Until he needs to pick up and throw back, creates a little bit more space. Once again, Excess Vampire splitting this fight with the Cogs. Bryle, Sinister Gaze once again with one charge is giving him a little bit more time to survive, but not enough time to get away. Down for 50 seconds, and Moon Meander also on the retreat, but GPK is having the time of his life. Diffusal Blade up, and they just could not keep the run going. The Gambit are going to have a huge momentum swing now.
They were kind of not on the same page. I think if they took the fight here, because the supports of Crazy placed Observer and Sentry on this area, and they were all standing on the high ground if you remember the last fight. But the Lifestealer decided to, I think that was a big mistake. He chased down the ramp, and he went and he was here. And his team was here. If they stood here and all behind Dusra, I think they had a really good chance of winning the fight. But the mistake was running down the ramp. This is like a lot of mistakes that the inexperienced team make. When you think you have the advantage and you chase, and that's when you lose your advantage.
Yeah. And you're just so heavily separated.
Yep, I'm sure you hear a lot about fight under your vision. Don't go to the enemy's vision.
CR4ZY, more trouble again. Came out of the Observer and Sentry, the Gambit had down, and the Spark Wraith will chase him, and now, no, won't actually get the kill. Down to 48 HP, but it's enough to get away, but won't say the same for Moon Meander.
Space, Toby. Look at who is farming. Space.
Yeah, but...
the Queen is farming.
But look where Excess Vampire comes. Hook shot over. Cogs to push back as well. Now into the battery assault. Looks has arrived. Dream's got his coin up and running. And even the Ancient Prowlers are coming in to make life an absolute big hell. Wait, is that Vampire Fangs? Okay, they belong to the Lich. I'm like, that would be really unfortunate if that belonged to Crazy and they lost it.
Okay, never mind about the space, Toby. No space.
Yeah, tier 2 towers will be falling very quickly. ARC-Warden was ready to push this down. GPK, this really feels like a Riki as well. Like compared to the Riki we saw in our first series today, this Riki feels so much more of an influence with his Diffusal first build.
I mean, you have to understand, having the Dark Shield with the Riki is a huge difference in that in this game. You have the extra damage from the Iron Shell, because the previous game we were talking about damage issues that Mu had in the game. He couldn't do enough damage, and this game it's a lot different because it's Dark Shield Riki. It's not just the Iron Shell, but also the vacuum into the combo, the smoke screen, and the tricks of the trade.
Yeah. And a nicer synergy for Gambit, and it's good to see Gambit too. Like I was wondering, like if the PR was really going to reflect inside of their gameplay with GPK coming back, but it definitely feels like this is the confident Gambit you would have expected to turn up. Dream clone, that's a lot of wasted time trying to kill it.
It's a lesson learned, you know, Toby. Teaching the players a lesson.
What lesson have we learned here, Winter? Please teach our wise one.
Trust your teammates. Don't always think that the grass is greener on the other side.
A lot of money though. Roshan. Again, it's going up.
I'm done, Toby.
You done? You done?
You win.
First shot.
Okay, Roshan loses.
Full Hurricane Pike now done for ARC-Warden 2, so welcome to more maneuverability to play around with. And they are definitely going to put this Aegis Immortal to the test. It is in the hands of the ARC-Warden. Protecting Dreams 7-1-3 he's currently got.
The dire game plan right now is to drag and drag and drag. Buy Solar Crest, buy all the team items, buff the Dusa, and hope she carries the game.
Is that when you think about like Rapier first?
Yeah, maybe they see that order at
Blockwork. He's going to be picked up. Cogs once again splitting things up. Has hookshot available. And hook shots away. Up to the Centaurs. Northern now. And GPK comes back in for the fight. Gets hit by the bash. And look at Brady go for the back as well as the wall. Moon Meander. He'll burn out 1 actually dying to the illusions, but Mortimer's Kids has actually caused a lot of problems for GBK, so he lost his life too. But they want Bryle once again being isolated in the midst of a whole bunch of illusions. But now the real boy has arrived. Dream is here, ready to fight. Now Skidder also pops himself out, ready to fight. Bryle himself a double kill out of this. He may be getting a triple if FNG wants to stick close, but Bryle, he's still being hunted by Dream. Now Skidder as well. The cause, they just don't have the bite left anymore. Dead, without buyback available. Even the Spark Wraith looking to chase down STARLADDER. It won't be enough damage, but the second one, can it actually lich in time? No, it won't. Right, they'll get back out to safety thanks to the cookies.
I'm sorry, the Medusa is no longer queen. Arc Warden is the king.
The princess hasn't been crowned yet. I do not hold the orb.
The only reason Dire made that move was because of this Observer Ward here. They saw the Arc Warden TP bottom, so they knew that he couldn't get here in time, so they decided to smoke. It was a good move, but they didn't get the Medusa out of trouble. The fight drawn on for way too long. It was still nice to have the infest on the Medusa, so they buffed up the Medusa a lot.
Yeah, you get to watch that fight once again.
I think they need a Solar Crest on the Medusa, honestly. Solar Crest, do they have Blades? Yeah, they already have Blades on the STARLADDER. Yeah, they just need a Solar Crest. I think it's going to make a huge difference.
More than a Hurricane. Because you also want to try it, like, at least with a 4-star, if you can get yourself out of the Clockwork Cogs.
But I still think the Solar is going to be very important to give him the armor. Just that slight armor and that slight move speed is going to make a difference in the team fights. Because the Medusa is going to want to stand and just dish out damage with the Blades and the Solar. Like if you have to run as a Medusa with the 4-star, I think the fight more or less is going to be very difficult for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the fact that you need to reposition away from the cogs or the Darkseid wall as different areas.
You want the stance, you want the range, you want the reposition if someone gets on top of you. Like, all these things are very, very nice, but you can't reposition away from a Riki.
And the issue right now is they don't have so much resources compared to Gambit, so they have to choose how to spend the gold wisely. What items do they need to get?
Hey, this is what you do. You put Medusa in a bubble. Rubik stole the magnetic field. It's like, okay, Bryle, stay high ground, stay in my bubble and keep them away from you.
Such a reliable way to play.
Yeah, definitely. High percentage and will definitely always be there for when you need it.
So, I mean, he has the bubble now, so I don't know if he's going to keep it for the whole game.
Well, this is easy for Dream. Taking a tier 1 tower from out of range.
Okay, say he gets the bubble and the Medusa has the rapier. I can see them actually winning the fights.
Really? Okay. Well, he has the bubble. He has the bubble.
Step 1.
It's just
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Step 2. Maybe a little bit further away.
Step 2, lose all bounty.
Unfortunately, step 1
they get
has...
the outpost? Oh yeah, they have one out. Oh sorry, never mind. It's 25 minutes. They're gonna smoke bot again because they saw a few heroes at bot. I think they saw the Darkseid. I'm not sure if they saw the Arc.
They see Darkseid definitely now.
Yep. So this is again a similar move from before where they.
But they don't have to blink on STARLADDER yet. They don't have that quick jump.
They don't need to. They just need to run in and fight and kill someone right now because the enemy is not together.
Well, they know with the Dire Observe Ward. Yeah, okay, now they see the Darkseid for a second, but do they want to come underneath the tier 1 tower for that fight? It looks not.
Yeah, still, but still, it's like you can see the idea why they're moving because if you pay attention to the vision, they always have vision on both sides of the map. This is like kind of like a very good example of ideal vision. So you have information about where the enemy is moving, who is moving top and bottom, so you can decide whether you want to smoke top or bottom. It makes everything very easy for you. The hard thing is they're 11k behind. That is the difficult part.
Hey, step 2 is coming. Step 2 is coming. He has a rapier queued up as the next item for Bryle.
Step 2 is going to take 10 minutes. I'll check back on that.
Step 1's timing out in 30 seconds. Oh, shot. Jump forward towards Kazu. Another great reposition there from Excess Vampire. Just pushing STARLADDER down in range of the Sinister Gaze of FNG. But don't worry, step 1 is protecting the tower with the bubble, but step 1 is now timed out.
Step 3, buyback of STARLADDER. You do it.
There's a lot of steps to this plan. I don't know if if they're the step masters.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And Dream is just forcing his way in. Lifesteal's not even involved in this. He's got his Desolator. He's still trying to finish up his Halberd. So yeah,
the bubble on Rubik.
Just bubble it away and kill off. And fortify. Yep. You kill off. He's got another one in 10 seconds.
Oh, he's gonna lose it. Running out. Okay, so going back to the reliable way of playing Dota. Waiting for the Rubik to get the bubble again.
Alright, come on. Here's the clockwork hook. With no vision whatsoever, XS Vampire will now gain vision, get blocked.
You're just gonna make him miss at this rate.
Oh, he's getting taken the first creep. Oh wait, no. He's trapped. He's trapped inside the comms, inside the tricks of the trade. He can't move outside the smoke screen. He's dead for a minute without buyback available. That's step 5.
What is step 5?
Not that.
Okay, Toby, space. Dusa is fine.
Only so much you can do with this space. I suppose you could buy a Demon Edge, like sell a race band and buy a Demon Edge. Like that's potentially something. Plus 42 damage.
To be honest, there's no point saving.
And she's got the plus 35 damage from the Greater Fairy Fire, so damage is being increased.
Yeah. But like I said, there's no point saving buyback, to be honest. If you have to buy back on Medusa at this point of the game, you're done. Yeah, you're done.
Okay. Well, as long as Dusa can keep this creep wave out of the mid, there will be some level of protection up on the top. Dream sends in the Arc Warden Illusion. Where's my fort?
Where's the bubble?
Where's the bubble? The bubble is needing to be stolen. As Arc Warden just pushes himself forward. He's like, well, if you want the bubble, Moon, well, it's going to cost you your life. He's so low on life. 36 HP. He's able to survive. He's trying to get it, but all he's got is Spark Race.
It's okay, the next steal. He'll get it the next steal, so don't worry. Okay, step number... Okay, I lost count.
It's a very long guidebook, alright? Like how Moon Spark Rays are actually... I think they're exactly the same. Has he got it? No, he's got Iron Shell. I guess you'll take it. Hey, Kazu, come and hold this for me. Top Rax has been taken. AUI has been doing his normal thing, like sitting... creep skipping out. Normally he would do that with Alina, but Snapfire, I suppose, just as good. And he'll TP away in time.
I can tell how much you like to play Snapfire from that statement.
That is no, yes, no.
The wave clear is fun, I have to admit.
I just think it's absolute BS just how far you can fire Mortimer's kisses from. It's just like, you know what I need to do? I need to sit like halfway back.
That is half the fun of the hero.
Oh,
the other...
What's the other half?
Clearing creeps and farming items with Q and W.
Oh, so obvious.
I can tell you like to play Jakiro as well, because that's what Jakiro does.
I actually really like Jakiro just for pressuring towers, like with liquid fire.
That's just an excuse for farming the mains.
Yeah.
I'm just
like
pushing
the best farm for Jakiro is towers. That's an interesting AUI. What was that? Space. You can't keep saying space as a reason for everything. That's not possible. You're gonna run out of things. That reasoning in space. What? Deuce is getting closer to a rapier? Oh, actually, that's true. Deuce is getting closer to a rapier. And he cookied underneath the outpost that belonged to the Radiant side into perfect vision.
I mean, you're plus 5. I think he's doing the right thing.
He did bring attention away from the top.
Toby, if he's not trying to do that, what else can he do? He already pushed the wave. There's nothing left for him to do.
So if I can't push a wave and I can't farm items, which is what Snapfire's half.
You break smoke.
Snapfire's good.
As a support.
You break smoke. Wait, there was smoke? Okay,
you use your body as information for the carry to farm. I'm serious, I'm not trolling. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
The first Filipino macho man has said you just use your body.
Come on, Toby.
No one forget it. No one has forgotten
that. You're not a true support player, even though you say you play Jakiro.
Yeah, you keep that Arc Warden clone stunned up. They've actually got some really good control against that. But I'm fairly certain Moon wants to stop picking up Spark Rays.
Why do you hate on the Dusa? Why?
I'm not hating on the Dusa. The Dusa is great later on. Putting words in my mouth. Ra's actually getting really close to that rapier.
You're just upset the core is getting all the gold and the supports are not farming.
That's definitely not what I'm upset about.
At this point, he can't even buy the rapier.
Oh no, Courier's on the task.
I mean, they might have...
The Courier's coming out. He's bringing the Wraith Band with him, so he's actually able to sell the Wraith Band to have just the right amount of money.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a ward. Okay, he might run...
Hang on, why is the Wraith Band? He could just sell that back at base as well. He doesn't need to sell that as part of the thing.
Go. Escort the Dusa.
Come on, Courier.
Escort the Dusa, the queen.
Come on. Just remember what Leonidas said as one. Rapier! 32 minutes in. Meanwhile, for a Gambit, they make it. That's fine. Step two now.
So you went from Star Wars to 300.
What can I say? I'm a cinephile.
Stand on your vision to take the fight. Thank you.
That's a
so far so good
spot to be. They're dropping. Alright, so KheZY has BKB ready. They're running around the back. Excess Vampire dusts up and he gets the cogs off in time. Quickly pushed away. Moon Meander attacked by GPK. He'll push himself up with the 4-star, trying to get further out of this one. It's a good Darkseer wall in the mid. And it looks like Moon actually gets away with his life. The Stone Gate is out. The damage is good. But then again, can it still be continued? The Rubik gets gone. The Mortis can fly forward. But now the Queen must be protected at all costs. Skidder, man, that's so much damage he takes. The Queen is dying. The Queen is dead. 80 seconds on the sideline. GG, well played. There is no coming back from this. Gambit were looking for the straw that would break Creedy's back. Then they got it. It was to kill the Queen.
They were doing all the right moves, I think, for the Bio team. Given the situation they have, I think they played the game very well despite losing. They did all the things that they're supposed to be doing. The warding was excellent. Vision was fine.
You just probably would have preferred